Hi everyone, welcome to another video by Maths with Sarah. So today we're going to be tackling this question that asks us to calculate the mean age of a bunch of children. So normally when you're working out the mean, you would kind of find the total and then divide it by the number of different things there are. However, in this case, it's slightly taken a little bit of a step further. Rather than giving you each of the individual ages, they've kind of given you a group that we know the average age of the mean age of the boys, and we know the mean age of the girls. And from that, we've then got to work out what the total mean is, or the mean of all of the children. So not necessarily straightforward. Working out the mean a slightly different way from the ways that you might be normally used to doing it. So as with all these videos, I would encourage you to pause the video and have a go yourself before you then watch it and go through the answer with me. Give it a go, even if you're not 100% sure exactly how to work it out. Then I still advise you to give it a little try, see how much you can work out. You might even surprise yourself, and then we'll go through it. So the way I like to tackle pretty much all maths question is by starting off by working out what we do know and what we can then work out from that, because sometimes you might surprise yourself by how much you actually know. So here we've been told that the mean age for 18 boys, the mean age of all of them is 16.2. The mean age of 27 girls is 16.7. And we know that there's a total of 45, which 18 plus 27 is 45. And then we've been asked to calculate the mean age of all 45 boys and girls. So normally when we work out the mean, we would take each of the individual ages and then divide it by the total number of children. In this case, we're going to struggle to do that. But what we do know is that for each of these, we know that this is the mean for the boys. So what we can do is we can start by figuring out the total age of each of the boys. So we know that in average it's 16.2. So if we do 16.2 times by 18, that will give us the total age for each of the boys. So if we do that, then we get 291.6. Put the decimal point in the wrong place. 291.6. And then we can do exactly the same for the girls. So we can do 16.7 times by 27. And the reason why this works is because, so this is the total ages for all of the girls, and then I'll talk to you about why this works. So if you think about the way that we would normally find the mean for, say we had 27 girls, we had 27 different girls' ages, what we would do, we would add up each of those ages and then divide it by 27. Essentially, we're kind of undoing that step here. So because the last step of finding the mean is to divide by 27, if we then times by 27, that's going to give us the total ages of all of the girls. So now what we can do is then say, well, actually, what's the total age of all of the children? So this, if we add these together, we get 291.6 plus 450.9. So this will give us the total age for all of the children. And then we know that when we're finding the mean, we sum the ages, or so we find the total ages for all of the children, and then we divide by the frequency, or the number of children that we've got here. So in this case, we're going to divide by 45. If we do that sum, then on the top of this fraction, we end up with 742.5, still divided by 45. And then if we pop that in a calculator to work it out, we get an average of 16.5. So this would be our final answer. But again, with all of these questions, I do encourage you to then kind of go back and check that it does make sense, that we have that this answer does make sense. We know that we've got 18 boys and the average age is 16.2. We've got 27 girls, the average age is 16.7. So we're going to be expecting an average age for the total, the mean age for the total of all the children, to be somewhere between 16.2 and 16.7. And because there are more girls, it will likely to be a bit closer to their average age. So slightly closer to 16.7, which means that this answer is most likely to be correct. And it's always good to kind of do this just mental check at the end, just to have a little look to see kind of a quick estimate of what we would expect the answer to be, so that then we've got a pretty good idea when we get to the end whether or not that's likely to be right. And if you've made a silly mistake, say you've forgotten to divide by 45 at the end, hopefully you'd be realizing if you've got 742 that's unlikely to be the average age. So you realize that you've missed a step or you've made a silly mistake somewhere. So hopefully that's kind of looked at calculating the mean slightly differently from the way that you might be used to. I think it's quite a nice little question. I think the next video that I'm doing is looking at a little bit more probability. So I'd encourage you to subscribe to the channel so that you can get the first updates on all of the videos that are coming out. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully that helped.